1 year of hard work. 2 awards, 25 categories, 237 finalists. Today, we will give you the best of the best in sustainability reporting and integrated reporting. This 4th of April 2022, CSR Works International brings you Asia Sustainability Reporting Awards 2021 and Asia Integrated Reporting Awards 2021 awards ceremony. Our event will be graced by the British High Commissioner of Singapore, Her Excellency Cara Owen, with special guests Isabel de Lovenfoss, Head of Southeast Asia COP26 Strategy, British High Commission Singapore, Lauren Babwick, Climate Change and Energy Attaché of the British High Commission Singapore, Professor Lawrence Law, Director, Center for Governance and Sustainability and Professor of Strategy and Policy at NUS Business School, Dr. Mohan V. Avari, Associate Professor of Strategy and Innovation, the University of Nottingham, Sylvain Guillotin, Chief Rating Officer, EcoVadis, Professor Dr. Guler Aras, Founding Director of YTU Center for Finance and Governance and Sustainability Founding Chair of Integrated Reporting Association, Turkey. This virtual awarding ceremony will be co-hosted by Rajesh Chabara, the Managing Director of CSR Works International, and Elaine Cohen, the Managing Director of Beyond Business. And let's begin. One year of hard work. 2 awards, 25 categories, 237 finalists. Today, we will give you the best of the best in sustainability reporting and integrated reporting. This 4th of April 2022, CSR Works International brings you Asia Sustainability Reporting Awards 2021 and Asia Integrated Reporting Awards 2021 awards ceremony. Our event will be graced by the British High Commissioner of Singapore, Her Excellency Cara Owen, with special guests Isabel de Lovenfoss, Head of Southeast Asia COP26 Strategy, British High Commission Singapore, Lauren Babwick, Climate Change and Energy Attaché of the British High Commission Singapore, Professor Lawrence Law, Director, Center for Governance and Sustainability and Professor of Strategy and Policy at NUS Business School, Dr. Mohan V. Avari, Associate Professor of Strategy and Innovation, the University of Nottingham, Sylvain Guillotin, Chief Rating Officer, EcoVadis, Professor Dr. Guler Aras, Founding Director of YTU Center for Finance and Governance and Sustainability Founding Chair of Integrated Reporting Association, Turkey. This virtual awarding ceremony will be co-hosted by Rajesh Chabara, the Managing Director of CSR Works International, and Elaine Cohen, the Managing Director of Beyond Business. And let's begin.
All right, Elaine, it's that time of the year again.
Good afternoon, Rajesh. Yes, it is. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Elaine, and let me tell everyone that you have joined us from Israel, and I'm here in Singapore.
Hello, I'm from Israel.
Let's welcome all the attendees today who are here with us for the next 2.5 hours. And so welcome to the 7th Asia Sustainability Reporting Awards and also the 7th Asia Integrated Reporting Awards. So when we started these awards, Elaine, from the very first edition, the British High Commission has been a partner, and all these years we have worked very closely, and we are very pleased to have the British High Commissioner, Her Excellency Cara Owen, here with us. And also some of our judges, so Mohan, Lawrence, Guler, and you, Elaine. So you are also on the judging panel. So So I'm looking forward to this event, and what we have seen over the years that number of entries have increased, obviously, because the number of reports have increased. But the most exciting part is, Elaine, as you know better than I do, that the quality of report keeps going up. And that was something at the core of the purpose why we started these awards. So when we started these awards 8 years ago, there was no international recognition for reporting. There was no regulation for companies to produce a sustainability report. So everything operated in a very voluntary kind of ecosystem. So very few companies were reporting. And our purpose was that if we come out with a recognition program where we recognize those who are taking the lead, making a disclosure, high quality disclosure on voluntary basis without under any pressure, or not that is legislated or regulated. So then that will perhaps inspire other companies to also start reporting. And here we are. And we also wanted to introduce a healthy competition in the hope that a healthy competition will enhance the quality of reporting across the board. So I'm very happy that that's what has happened. And Elaine, you have been on the judging panel from the very first edition. So what has been your journey so far?
Well, yeah, Rajesh, I mean, you're absolutely right. I think over the years we've seen a real improvement in the quality of reporting, in the consistency, in the depth, in the insights that we get from reports. And I think over the years we've tried with the awards to focus on areas that really need, the company needs to pay attention to. So diversity, equity and inclusion, for example, has been a focus area as one of the categories. This year we had for the first time the CEO letter. And I think governance was a first-time entry this year, because those have always been two areas which governance has always been a very challenging piece of content for the sustainability report. And the CEO letter, I always say, is one of the most important parts of the report. So I think we try each year to put a bit of a spotlight on some of the areas where companies can focus on. And I think it's been a fantastic journey, and I think kudos to all the amazing companies in Asia who are really making amazing efforts to be transparent, consistent, accurate, and credible, and of course, in some cases, fun in their disclosures. So let's look at what we've got in terms of who made the winning lists today, and I'm sure we can all gain some inspiration from that.
Yeah, we are all looking forward to that, Elaine. And I just also want to add that this year we added 2 new categories other than the CEO letter and governance, which was we repositioned carbon disclosure, and we called it Asia's Best Climate Reporting. So given the new urgent need to manage or mitigate climate risks, so we wanted to bring more focus, and I'm very happy to share that we have seen lots and lots of companies really starting to disclose on what they are doing to mitigate their climate risk. And the other one that we introduced was human rights, which is a topic which is going to gain more and more momentum. That's what I think. So we also pleased to see that there were quite a few companies who are doing a good job on human rights. So with this, we are ready for this evening, and let me again welcome everyone who is watching us, and also all our guests and our judges who are here with us for this event. So to start the event today, I would like to invite the guest of honor today, Her Excellency Cara Owen, who is British High Commissioner in Singapore. And she is not new to this awards event. And She had spent some time in Singapore already, and I'm going to hand over to Kara.
Rajesh, Elaine, distinguished judges, business representatives, ladies and gentlemen, it really is a pleasure for me to be joining you again this year to open Asia Sustainability Reporting Awards and Asia Integrated Reporting Awards. I really hope that the next time we do this, we can be doing it again in person, where we can spend even more time celebrating the fantastic results that you're going to be showcasing through the awards. I feel like each time I do this, I say, this year the awards come at a really important moment, but I really think that is true this year. I think I have noticed so much in my nearly 3 years here in Singapore, how increasingly every conversation I am having has an element around sustainability within it, and how I am feeling more and more strongly that companies are utterly convinced that they need to be able to go on their own sustainability journey, without which they won't be able to continue to attract investments and consumers. But many of them will also be scratching their heads and wondering exactly how they do it. And one of the things that I love about the awards and about bringing attention to reporting is that within that reporting, you will be able to see what other companies are really thinking about tackling and the kind of choices and decisions that they are making. When I spoke to you last year, of course, the UK was preparing to host the 26th UN conferences of the parties of the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, or COP26 for short, in Glasgow in the UK. We had seen the report from the UN's panel of scientists, whose job it is to advise governments around the world of the impact of our own actions. And this had set out really starkly how urgent the need for action was. I think at the time, natural disasters were also sweeping Europe, the Americas, and also this region, causing devastation and loss of life, exacerbated, science told us, by global warming. In short, we were anxious about the ability of our leaders to recognise the momentous change necessary at a pivotal moment in history. And I'm proud that UK COP26 presidency worked so hard to ensure that the Glasgow Climate Pact took us forward in a way that we so desperately needed as a global community. The progress in this region in particular was really exciting to watch. In 2020, when we took on the task of hosting COP26, this was a region of heavy coal use with high growth, which was brilliant to see high growth, but it was fueled by high energy use and carbon intensity. There was not a single commitment in place to get us on track with the Paris Agreement. But by the end of COP26, 75% of Southeast Asia's GDP was covered by commitments to reach net zero by mid-century. And that means that 83% of the region's emissions should be stopped in the next 30 years. Commitments to end coal, which was a bit of a first at a COP, to even use the word in the final statement, were made by the biggest emitters, as were declarations to halt and reverse deforestation in this region of abundant, miraculous biodiversity and nature. The Independent Climate Action Tracker modelled that if the commitments made at the conference were all fully implemented, we will peak temperature levels at 1.8 degrees above pre-industrial levels. In short, we had collectively kept the 1.5 degree goal alive. But as Alok Sharma, the UK's COP president, said as he summed up late in the evening on the 12th of November last year, himself visibly exhausted by the intensity of the vital negotiations. The 1.5 degree goal was alive, but its pulse was weak. Alok Sharma said that because while we had secured these important strategic commitments, setting the political direction we desperately needed to deal with the climate crisis, short-term implementation remains dangerously misaligned with that ambition. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change's report last month spoke of the impact that human beings have had on the planet, which is now irreversible, with temperatures already around 1.1 degrees above 1900 levels. For countries in this region, with 6 of the world's top 25 climate risk-affected large economies already suffering from weather-related disasters each year, this is a really worrying point. But the report also makes clear how every fraction of a degree matters. It says scientists have a high degree of confidence that even a temporary overshoot of 1.5 degrees centigrade means more risk of compounded effects on our ecosystem and of being unable to ever return to the natural balance we currently enjoy. So that is why we as a country will not step back from leading on climate ambition throughout the rest of our COP presidency year during 2022. We'll continue to push hard for ambition from major emitters to come forward with new commitments that align with 1.5 degrees by the end of this year. For donor countries to level up their contribution towards the transition in developing countries, fulfilling their promise to reach $100 billion a year that the OECD projects will be achieved by 2023, and to fulfill the bold commitments by 141 countries representing over 90% of the world's forests to halt and reverse deforestation this decade. This really is the year to deliver on the promises made at Glasgow. And that's why being here alongside you and the companies that are working so hard to tell the story of their own transition and their own sustainability is a really important and precious moment. At the heart of this earnest focus by the UK, which will outlive our COP presidency and remain our #1 international priority for the foreseeable future, is the sense not just of meeting the challenge, but also of opportunity and optimism. While we teeter close to dangerous temperature rises, the weight of momentum is moving in the opposite direction. We're passing the tipping point of positive action to mitigate climate impact and seeing the pace of that change accelerating, including in the private sector, in the way that I set out at the start of my remarks. Last year, when I talked to you about 20% of FTSE 100 companies committing to decarbonise by 2050, today that figure is 70%. So we've gone during this period from 20% of FTSE 100 companies committing to 70%. That's a really remarkable shift in just 1 year. The economics are increasingly with us, as last year showed. The World Bank said that for every $1 spent on adapting to climate change, we'd see a 4-fold payback in economic benefits, from reduced costs to healthcare, to resilient infrastructure, and to livelihoods. The IEA said that solar PV was now the cheapest form of energy in history. So if you're a business looking to compete in a globalized supply chain, you'll be at a disadvantage on your energy costs if you're not looking at how to get your net zero electrons, as well as having a client base who will expect sustainability as a norm. Glasgow also saw financial institutions with over $130 trillion assets under management committed to ensuring that all scopes of their emissions were net zero by 2050. That capital is now looking for clean investment opportunities, decreasing the cost of finance for firms with sustainable business models. And to be able to prove that you've got sustainable business models, of course, you need to prove within your sustainability reporting that you're on the right track. The unprovoked Russian invasion of Ukraine has, of course, driven fossil fuel prices even higher, making those economics even starker than they already were. And the UK, like other G7 countries, is committed to reducing its reliance on Russian oil and gas, including by accelerating the shift to renewables. Over recent weeks, we've seen some big changes here in the region, including in Singapore, as governments begin to reopen their economies and movement within their economies. We felt like after many false dawns, perhaps we are finally emerging into what we might call a post-pandemic world. I always feel like I need to touch wood at this point. Like many of you, I felt a bit bunkered down and weathered a storm. We've weathered a storm together, achieving something momentous with global cooperation in the face of a crisis. Glasgow showed that same spirit of collective action in the face of a crisis. And though the two were different in many ways, we can take from them a common perception that we can solve them together across national borders and across sectors. I want to thank you all as members of the business community across Asia for your vision. You have committed to this transition for many years. Some of you have joined the journey more recently. But increasingly, the ability of corporates to learn from each other is really important in helping everybody achieve their climate goals. You've recognised that leadership which was necessary in getting us towards the progress we saw in Glasgow. So these awards are really important now and as we head on the next stage of our sustainability journey. I encourage you to celebrate peers. We'll be all clapping from the sidelines as the awards are announced, and to support each other with your learning. Most importantly, I encourage you to reach out to those that are not yet in this room. We need more and more people to feel that this is an important award ceremony and an important moment to celebrate and share learning. Use your leadership to develop the change that we need, including working with organisations like our own as we try and push ahead even more quickly. Use your voice with governments to push for more ambition. I know that behind the Singapore government's really striking decisions around things like how fast to increase carbon tax, there were corporates saying, we need you to go faster on this. We need you to show the way so that we have the impetus to decarbonise and to have that kind of conversation with our investors. Your voice is really, really important with investors, with other corporates and with governments. Build on and insist on action to implement the promises of Glasgow. As I've said, we in the UK government will, and we need to keep all of ourselves, all of this coalition honest as we go along the way. We've got an opportunity, of course, to build back better as we emerge from the pandemic. If we continue to work together, exhibiting the leadership that your winners tonight already have, I'm confident that 2022 will be a greener, healthier, safer and more prosperous year than 2021. Thank you very much.
Thank you, High Commissioner. We really miss Eden Hall, High Commissioner, and we really hope to be back there. Maybe the next event.
I can't wait to get you all back. I'm just absolutely waiting to have more people in Eden Hall. It misses all of you too.
Yeah, we really looking forward to that. And we also commend UK government's leadership on several fronts. It's not just climate change, but gender equality and a host of other issues. And especially we have seen the leadership, especially in the last 2 years, over climate change leading up to COP26. And what a dramatic change and what a momentum that we have started seeing after COP26. Also in the area of reporting. So we have a new International Sustainability Standards Board, which was announced at COP26. So a lot has happened in Glasgow. And I think what we are seeing now, whether it's Singapore government's commitment to enhancing the aspiration to be net zero by mid-century, or last year's Singapore Green Plan, UK government's leadership, I think all these are very positive signals. And the companies, I think, understand that they now have full support from regulators and policymakers And now there is the right environment for them to take these actions. And of course, investors also understand that, and they are taking a big interest. Elaine?
Yeah, I think it's, thank you, Cara, for taking us through that journey over the past year. It's just incredible when you think, how much has happened, and the pace of change is just incredible. And also, as everybody knows on the reporting side, it's just, super dynamic. And I also agree with Rajesh that the UK has really done some tremendous work in bringing everybody together. And I think a couple of things that you said, stood out for me. I think, of course, we all talk about the gloom and doom and the dangers and the risks and the threats, but you also mentioned the opportunity and the optimism. And I think, at the end of the day, we're all about creating a better world for all of us. And that should be a good thing, and we should feel good about it, and we should do it in a spirit of optimism and excitement. And that's how I also look at reporting. A lot of people over the years, reporting, boring, no one reads them, but really working on reporting and looking at reports is a fun thing, and it shows how this energy and determination and passion is alive in so many companies and with so many teams and leaders in those companies. And that brings me also to another point which you mentioned, and that is using reporting to help each other, to show the journey that you're on, and as you said, support each other with your learning. I think that's one of the big benefits of sustainability reporting, which almost never gets mentioned. Everybody learns from reporting. Reports are a wealth of information about industry, about sectors, about climate change, about all sorts of aspects of human interaction. And by doing that well, you're not only supporting your own journey, but you're supporting the journey of so many others. So I really appreciated that thought as well. And there's lots more I could say, but I think we probably better get back to the schedule, Rajesh. So thank you. That was really insightful.
Thank you. Thank you again, High Commissioner. So, Elaine, now we have to move to the next part, which is also very exciting, because for our next part, I'm going to invite a long-standing friend of the awards, and also someone who has supported, like you, the Asia Sustainability Reporting Awards from the very first edition, and has always featured in all the summits that we do and webinars we do, Elaine. So our good friend, Professor Lawrence Lowe. So he's going to be the next, and we are going to have fun with him. It's always fun speaking with him. So can we have Professor Lowe on screen, please? Welcome to the event, Professor Lowe. Good to see you again.
Yes, hello Rajesh and hello Elaine. It's so nice to see you wherever you are. I'm so happy to be here just talking to you virtually.
And I'm feeling knowledgeable just looking at your background. So many books.
Wow. These are things we have to burn for this fireside chat.
Yeah, so this is a fireside chat. Yes, yeah, Prof. So we are very happy to have you again. Thank you for your continued support to the awards. And so we thought that we will talk to you something that our attendees will be interested in, and things that all reporting practitioners, and you are someone that not just, of course, you have been supporting the awards, you have been a judge from the very first edition, but you run a few other sustainability reporting clinics, if I can call them. Like you have an ASEAN study and Singapore study, SGX companies study and ranks, and you produce a lot of report cards for companies. And I remember last year, Prof. Lowe's team produced a report card for all companies that are listed here on the stock exchange by assessing their report and giving them a prescription. So what medicines they should take to improve their report. And I can tell you this, lots of these, almost all companies, they went around in the marketplace and seeking help, looking for that medicine that Prof. Lowe has prescribed in that scorecard, their scorecard. So Prof. Lowe has also played a very key role in working with SGX and several other stakeholders to continuously improve the quality of reporting, not just in Singapore, but across the region. So Professor, let me ask you this. Since over the years, you have done so many assessments of reports, what do you think makes a sustainability report credible?
Oh yes, Rajesh, that's a very important question. Yes, thanks also for mentioning that I run clinics for sustainable reporting. In fact, I don't only run clinics, I run a hospital intensive care unit as well as A&E. So, anybody who has an urgency to solve any problem, come to me, especially, I know you're asking about a report being credible. I think that's ultimately that's a catch in it. I think the first thing I look for in a report that is credible is it's not green in color for no reason. All the reports, the covers, the pages are always green, and it makes you psychologically comfortable, but inside there's actually not much substance. And for credibility in particular, I will look for three things for this credibility. I think first of all is it's good to have the report or even specific items assured, verified by internal or even external agency. I think it goes to the credibility of the report. And secondly, after being assured, I think it's good to be benchmarked, not quite comparing to direct competitors, because first of all, you don't usually name them in your report, but at least some industry norms, especially when you talk about materiality. I think there's a shortcut. You just under-disclose materiality, so you actually have less work to do in disclosing. So it's good to in a self-voluntary way, expose yourself to the industry norm. And third one is after a shared benchmark, contextualize, not only just within the organization. I think as stakeholders, we like to see how you are dealing with, say, the external, so beyond the organization. So you have a shared benchmark, contextualize, ABC. So as simple as ABC. Thank you.
Thanks, Prof. Lowe. Elaine?
Yeah, so I was wondering, Lawrence, when you start to judge a report, there's so many reports to look at in these annual awards. When you start to judge a report, what's the first thing you look at? How do you approach it?
Yes, I think there are many things to look at it. The report is, of course, holistic. You cannot go for specific parts. But one thing I actually immediately go to, beside the cover, the table of contents, is actually I nail straight down to the board statement. What is the board of directors saying? It's not just saying in a few lines, it's good, it's great, and nothing more. I hope even the board of directors can say something useful to signify, because they are going to sign on the bottom line, even though they technically don't draft the wording. I'm sure it's drafted by someone else, but at least they see the wording, see the narrative, see the story, and Dobby mark, put their thumbprint on it. So I think that's very important. It should not be just a few liner. I hope to see as we go forward, even something more substantive, even writing out certain descriptive or even prescriptive elements of sustainability.
Yeah. So we, in our last summit, we had a lot of discussion around when we had that how to spice up the G in ESG. Do you see any improvement in how the boards look at sustainability reporting, and especially sustainability as part of their core business model and strategy? Do you see things changing?
Yes, definitely. I think even if you look at the sustainability reporting, within the framework of the overall disclosure, even the annual report, not just the financial figures, but the storytelling part of the annual report, I think over the years, I can sense a certain trend of alignment. And I think it's very good that sustainability is not just pursued as an end in itself at the end of the whole exercise. It is completely converged. It's synchronized with the overall business intent, the overall business direction and aspiration. So I think that alignment is something that has picked up, in a very, very certain and progressive way. And I think that's good news.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any suggestions for a lot of practitioners who are here in terms of governance? How can they engage with their boards more effectively?
I think it's not just a matter of showing up in staff in attendance at board meeting and then make a PowerPoint presentation. What happened is the engagement takes place more effectively outside the boardroom context. So I would see, I'm seeing a trend in certain boards now. In fact, many boards where they have board members who are very specific and who are professionally competent in sustainability. In fact, many of the new directors they got in, one of the key ticket items is they are quite well versed with sustainability. So they can actually engage with the sustainability team and also across the entire organization beyond the structure of board meetings, board proceedings, without being, of course, too invasive into management and operation. I think that the board can ask the right questions, provide the right encouragement for the operations, the supply chain part to push towards a higher level of achievement.
Thank you, Praflo. You want to have your last word, Elaine?
Sure. I think, but just picking up on that point, I think as we're seeing now that over the years, boards of directors have had to demonstrate financial expertise, and they've had to be members of the board who have specific financial expertise. I think what we're now seeing is exactly as Lauren said, is a move to board members requiring ESG expertise. And I think we'll see more of that in the future. But just to round off, Lawrence, wanted to ask you, anything stood out for you in this year's batch of reports? Like me, you've been doing this year after year. Any particular insights about what was fantastic or what was awful, or the trends that you noticed in this year's set of reports?
Yes, I think over the years, as Rajesh pointed out, I've been here since year number 1 day, Rajesh, I was here witnessing the genesis of this whole Asian Award. So I'm very happy over the years. I think at the start, maybe for very good reason, many reporters, many companies, probably because they are new in the game. So they move from, general statements that go on. And the first batch of reports that I see, usually they have generic assertion, everything positive, too good to be true. It's all full of honey, milk, apple pie, mother nature. But I think as we go now, especially, I think over the years, one key thing that came in that was incorporated in a very diligent way was climate change. So you can see we have actually moved in the trajectory or even the evolution from generality to specificity. And I think particularly for some of the requirements in climate change, we cannot just talk about the weather in a general way, literally. So you have to be nailed down to scenarios, nail it down to what are the specific elements of your climate change action. All aspects of environment will now come in very, very squarely. So I think over the years, I think that the awards has done very well. If anything, I will have to congratulate, CSR works, Rajesh. Of course, Elaine is here from day one as well for setting up this momentum and, for inspiring a learning journey for all the companies. Thank you, Elaine and Rajesh.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so Elaine, now we move to the next segment that everyone is waiting for, awards presentation. And we are going to do that over a few parts. So we are ready for the part 1. So it's Asia's Best Workplace Reporting. So this is how we are going to do for the benefit of everyone. So it's category, and you already see the winners of bronze and silver on the screen. So Bao Viet Holdings from Vietnam, silver, and Singtel from Singapore, bronze for Asia's Best Workplace Reporting. And now we want to know who is the gold winner. And Elaine, tell us who is the gold winner.
And the winners, yay! Siam Commercial Bank of Thailand. Well done to Siam Commercial Bank and to all of the other finalists and winners in this category. Well done. This is such an important category, and it's getting so relevant. Especially with everyone talks about the S in ESG, so well done.
And especially in these COVID times, Elaine, when people are working from home, so we have a new challenges related to workplace. So thanks, Elaine. So let's move to the next category, please.
Wow, and here we have Best Diversity Reporting, and as you can see, lots of finalists. Singtel with the bronze award, Genpact with the silver award, and the gold winner is that's Bank Hapoalim in Israel. Bank Hapoalim, one of the longest standing reporting organizations in Israel, and with a very, very great track record on diversity and expressed in their report. Well done to Bank Hapoalim, and well done to all the others.
Thank you, Elaine. So the next category is here, Asia's Best Community Impact Reporting. And we have 2 winners here. So from Singapore Prudential Assurance Singapore for the bronze award, and Singtel again with silver. And now we want to know who is the gold winner.
And the gold winner is Asra Healthcare of the United Arab Emirates. Well done to you.
Congratulations to all the winners and also to all the finalists. So can we have the next category, please? Asia's Best Stakeholder Reporting. Something that I always look out for in reports, how they do it. And we have 2 winners here on screen, AU Optronics Corporation from Taiwan and Kerry Properties from Hong Kong. And Elaine is going to tell us who is the gold winner.
And the gold winner is... Everybody's clapping so loudly, that's fantastic. And this is the Taipei Exchange. It's so fantastic to see stock exchanges around the world really stepping up, not only to encouraging ESG, but also to reporting themselves. So this is a fantastic result. Well done to all of the finalists and winners.
So we are done with the part 1 of the awards presentation. Many more awards coming up. And before that, we have a very special guest here with us. And we are going to invite him for a chat. And it's Sylvain. I'm assuming he's still in Paris, if not traveling, and joining us from Paris. Let's join me in welcoming Sylvain, who is Chief Rating Officer at EcoVadis. EcoVadis is the world's most prominent technology-based supplier sustainability assessment platform. And he has been a judge for the last couple of years. And also we have had the honor of working with him for many other things, and he has been also to our summits. So not new to these awards and to our events. So welcome, Sylvain.
Thank you, Rajesh. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can.
So, Sylvain, very good to see you, and thanks for attending this event, and also thank you for judging some of the awards. Now, you also assess, like you are Chief Rating Officer of EcoVadis. What that means is that thousands and thousands of companies around the world are being assessed by your organization year after year. So you are very deep into assessing a company's sustainability performance or a sustainability management system. When it comes to sustainability reporting, what is it that you see in a sustainability report which can impress you? What are you impressed with in a sustainability report?
Well, there are a number of things. First of all, we rate, like you said, thousands of companies all over the globe in lots of different industry sectors and countries, and also a lot of different size, medium-sized companies, small size, medium-sized, very big companies. So I think what's important, not necessarily impressive, but what makes it credible for me is first of all some form of materiality analysis, because it's only the company that can understand very well what is material to them and the way they present and report this materiality analysis in a simple and graphical way to the readers of the report. So I think that's for credibility. That's for me. That's the first thing. The second thing is whether the report had been audited by a third party, because increasingly there is a regulatory pressure coming on ESG reporting, and for instance in Europe, CSRD will have to be third party audited. So it's going to become mandatory, and it's going to be business as usual. So today, if I look at a sustainability report that is not third-party audited, to me that's a negative point. And I think also what makes it even more credible is when companies are sharing the challenges that they are facing, and even sometimes the failures that or the lack of progress on certain topics. Stakeholders don't expect companies to be perfect or to achieve all their goals at once, and I think it makes it more credible when the report is really explaining the stakeholders, what's happening, what progress they have made and what challenges they are facing.
Sure. Well, yeah, you've picked up on some of the biggest challenges of reporting: materiality, third-party assurance, talking about challenges. I mean, these are things that, once the European directive kicks in and companies have to start auditing their sustainability results, I think we'll find that a lot of them have a few surprises in store. Many companies already do that, of course, but there'll be a lot that will probably get a bit of a shock. So, you've been judging now, Sylvain, for a while. These reports. What changes are you seeing in reporting? What are the trends? What are the differences that you're seeing now versus say a couple of years ago? Because the landscape is so dynamic. Are the reports themselves dynamic?
Yes, no, that's true. A lot of things are changing. The maturity is growing, so that's the good news. The downside of that is like now there's a lot of data and information published, and it's sometimes difficult to sort out what's interesting from what is not interesting and what is mere storytelling. So again, the structure of the report, the infographics, the graphical design, the way you project data is important. And I've seen in the past 2 years, I've seen some very good examples in this year competition, by the way, from SMEs being able to project in a simple way, what they're doing. Also, in the dynamic, I think also there is an echo on what's happening in the standardization side. As you know, there is a global effort to have all those ESG reporting standards converging. So CSRD, SASB, ISSB. I think that there is like a common willingness to arrive to one kind of reporting, like in finance, but we're not yet there. And what I see on the company side is that now we see all kinds of reference to those standards, and it seems to be a bit confused. So I think we are, work in progress. Some choose SASB, others choose GRI, others choose something else. So that's why now what is most important to us is really the materiality analysis. Because if you are able to explain in a convincing way what is material to you, you can even think that the reporting standard is like secondary, because at least you're going to be able to report on what's important. So there is this standardization in the background happening, which is kind of in progress, positive but still a bit confusing. There's a lot of maturity. The maturity is growing. There are less and less reports with like 100% philanthropy or charity or donations. I'm not saying this is bad. This is good to do that, but in the past there used to be reports where 90% centered on this kind of activity and not really on mitigating impact on stakeholders. So I think this is now companies have understood that what is expected from them is really to explain what they are doing, to preserve the environment, to implement good working conditions for the employees, and then what they do on top of that through philanthropy to help society is good, but it's not the most important as far as company stakeholders are concerned. So no, it's growing. The bar is raising. It's good. And I think the next phase will be when we have, finally a convergence of standards. Then it will help all those reports be more comparable with one another, because we have not reached that yet. And it's very difficult to compare one company with another, almost impossible. And even for one company from one year to another, it's very difficult to sometimes compare over time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Sylvain.
Sure.
Sylvain,
lots of things. I hope I understand your question.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, Rajesh, were you going to carry on?
Yeah, so I was going to say that Sylvain made a very good point, and keeping it very simple, that it's important to understand and get your materiality right, because that's where you decide what you're going to report on. So if you don't get it right, you have a problem. And what is a very important point that Sylvain has made, that when you talk about, share your challenges and failures and lack of progress in very complex situations. And that just brings more credibility to your report. It's such a powerful point, and so many companies and reports actually miss this point. And they try to paint a very rosy and positive picture. So those who are listening to us, so it's a good point for them that you also consider sharing your challenges which are genuine. I have this last question, Sylvain, since you as part of your EcoVadis work, you have your finger on the pulse of supply chains, global supply chains, and what are the issues in the supply chain, how companies are looking at it or not looking at it. How do you see trends in supply chain reporting emerging in the next 3 to 5 years?
No, very good question. Just before I answer to this one, to echo what you just said, two points. Materiality analysis is very important, but also target setting and then showing the progress against target. So I think that's the kind of the minimum or the most important you can do is show what's important, and for those subjects that are important, tell the stakeholders, these are my targets and this is how I'm doing vis-a-vis my targets. With this you have the basic fundamental, which I think is great. Sorry. Your question about sustainable supply chain reporting. Yes, I think it's going to become more important because we've just been witnessing a wave of regulatory pressures on purchasing organizations. In North America, in Europe, in France, you have devoir de vigilance. In Germany, you have the equivalent. In UK, you have the Modern Slavery Act. So more and more pressure is put on legislative pressure or legal pressure is put on purchasing organizations to report on what they're doing to make their supply chain and their suppliers more transparent, more sustainable. And then in Europe, a few weeks ago, there was the European directive project, which was published, which will basically ask all the countries in the EU to do like what they do in France and Germany. So again, more regulatory pressure on those large companies to demonstrate that they are responsible also of what's happening in their supply chain. And so as a consequence, I think the quality of sustainable supply chain report will increase. Today, they are, let's say phase one. They are anecdotal. There's only a very small percentage of companies who are actually sharing the results of the audits or assessment of their suppliers. The vast majority are still explaining in broad terms what they're doing to mitigate social and environmental supply chain. So I think it's yet to be improved. Although I've seen, not this year, because this year I was looking at the SME award, but last year I was looking at Sustainable Supply Chain Report Award, and last year I saw some really great examples, but they were not representative of the entire population. So I think there's a lot of progress to be made, and then we will try EcoVadis to because we have lots of clients doing this, we will try to share the best practices through our websites and publications.
Thank you. Thanks, Sylvain. Time to move to the next part of the awards presentation, Elaine. And for this is part 2. And
okay.
Can we have the category on screen, please? So just now Sylvain was talking about materiality, and here you go. So the next category is Asia's Best Materiality Reporting. And you see 2 winners on the screen, Cathay Financial Holding from Taiwan and TH Group Joint Stock Company from Vietnam. And Elaine, who is the gold winner?
And the gold winner is, let's have the fireworks.
City Development Limited from Singapore. So congratulations to CDL and Cathay and TH and all the finalists. Let's go to the next category, please. So the next one is design. So we also talked about design. Actually, Sylvain was saying that there should be nicely presented infographics and how reports are presented. So here you go, Asia's Best Sustainable Report Design. And we have 2 winners on screen, Sam Commercial Bank from Thailand and Charon Popcorn Foods also from Thailand. Who is
and the gold winner? Sorry, I'm the gold winner is Cathay Life Insurance. And I think it's not just about design. It's not just about having nice colours and nice infographics. I think it's really about enabling the report users to really understand the information and the data. I think a lot, when we're looking at design, we're not looking at the fanciest and the best and the most wonderful pieces of art. We're looking at a design which really helps the information come alive and be easy to use for the reader. So well done to Cathay Life Insurance and to all the other finalists and winners in this category.
Yep, as we said that the report should be inviting. When we look at the report should invite you to read it. Let's have the next category, please. Another one for what Sylvain just mentioned, coming trends. Asia's Best Supply Chain Reporting 2021. We have two winners, Charun Pokpan again from Thailand and Asus Tech Computer from Taiwan. And the gold winner is congratulations to all the winners and finalists. Let's go to the next category, please. So the next one is Asia's Best Environmental Impact Reporting 2021. We have two winners on screen, and it's over to you, Elaine.
Oh, and again, this is much broader than the new climate change category we introduced you to. So this is about all impacts relating to water, biodiversity, climate change, the entire picture, waste, of course, the entire picture of how a company is managing its environmental impact. We've got Sharon Popcand in bronze, AU Optronics in silver, and the gold winner is Aira Tech Computers. And technology is such an enabler of positive environmental impact. So well done to all of the companies in this category.
Let's have the next category, which is the new category, Elaine. This year, Asia's Best Sustainability Report, Human Rights. And we have two winners, another company from Taiwan, Anshin Food Services, and Silver Maxion Solar Technologies in Singapore.
And the gold winner is
again, congratulations to...
Well done.
Let's go to the next category, which is also a new category, Elaine. Asia's Best Sustainability Report Governance that we talked about when we were speaking with Prof. Lawrence Lowe. And we have two winners, City Developments from Singapore Bronze and AU Optronics, and gold is coming from Elaine.
From, and the fireworks, Bao Viet from Vietnam. Such an important piece of the report to get right. Well done to Bao Viet and to all of the other companies in this category. Congratulations.
So let's have the next category, which is the last category for this segment, Asia's Best Sustainability Report, CEO Letter. So Elaine, this is your favorite category. So
this is one of my favorite categories, and this is always the first thing I look at in any report I review. I always want to hear an authentic and a relevant voice from the CEO. And in 2021, who did it best? Let's have the fireworks for CVL. Well done. I thought that the letter here was a really insightful, authentic overview of sustainability and its importance and the work that CVL is doing and continues to do. So well done to CVL and to all of the other companies in this category.
So Elaine, we have a couple of minutes to talk about about the CEO letter. And since it's a new category, and so what should we say will make a CEO letter really compelling? And usually the CEO letter is upfront in the report. Normally the first couple of things that a reader will see. And what can be done? What do we want to see in a CEO letter in a report? Of course, we have a winner here, but what are some of the...
Well, a CEO letter, crafting an impactful CEO letter is not an easy task because it has to cover lots of bases. I'll start with what not to do. don't get your PR company to write it, because it's so easy to pick a CEO letter that's been written in what I call plastic language, language which is just very generic and very, repetitive. For me, what makes a great CEO letter is, first of all, a personal, authentic tone and touch and style. If there's something a little bit about the personal insight or a personal anecdote, something that is genuinely authentic, so that we can get a feel that we're really hearing from the CEO and not just from a PR company. But I think in addition to that, it has to be strategic, it has to be forward-looking, it has to be business-based. The CEO thinks about business, he doesn't just think about sustainability. She doesn't just think about sustainability. So there has to be an aspect of how the business is doing, how sustainability links to the business, how there's that interconnection and leverage. It has to be forward-looking, not just where we've been, but where are we going. I like CEO letters that acknowledge the contribution of the most important people in the business, that is the teams, the employees. And I like a CEO letter that highlights not only a couple of the business achievements, but also some of the key sustainability achievements in a strategic way. So those are some of the elements that I think make a great letter. And of course, it shouldn't be too long. If it's going over 3 pages, I turn off at the middle of page 2.
Yep. I also want to welcome Sylvain or Mohan or Proflo to chip in. We have a few minutes here before we break for a short break. Feel free to contribute. Mohan, I saw your comment. What would you like to add?
Thank you. I wanted to reiterate what Elaine said, and to all the CEOs out there, this was my surprising discovery to myself. The academics around the world are using this for their research. So the narratives from the CEO letter, I thought I had done it innovatively, and we found journal articles from accounting and finance picking up on the statements there. So you get free publicity when we publish a paper, but that's not the agenda. The agenda is where everybody is looking at you and what you're saying, and the authenticity, Elaine, absolutely. Even if you give 3 points to the PR people, I'm sure they can spin a good story out of it, but it should be the CEO's points. Lovely.
Thanks, Mohan. It's so real, this tendency or this temptation to give it to a PR agency and not really to the sustainability team. A PR agency which has not been involved in the reporting process at all.
Yeah.
The last minute being asked to write a CEO letter, which is I find it really amazing. But that's very real. What Elaine said. That's my experience in the marketplace. Sylvain, what is your advice?
No, I agree with what Elaine said. I think we have to be careful with not publishing those letters that are basically with no substance. I think that's the risk. As there is a larger population of companies that are now embracing sustainability reports. I mean, it used to be only the big ones. The maturity is growing, but now we can see, in 5 to 10 years, almost all companies, established companies on Earth, will have to do some form of sustainability report. And I think maybe together with the finance report, but I think the risk would be for those new generation of companies endorsing and embracing sustainability report. The risk would be to treat it as a commodity and just as another subject given to someone in the company, but not really looked at by the top management. I think then they will miss the main idea of sustainability, which is to pilot your companies and your activities by being conscious and aware of the impact you have on others. And the first person that has to do that is the CEO. So the risk I see is that it will become like just a report, and then it will not even be looked at by CEOs, because it will be used by everyone. No, that shouldn't be the case. It should be, and so that's why it's important that this sustainability report is ingrained or is side by side with the finance report. But so at least we are sure that the CEO or someone from the top management will look at it.
Let's hear from Prof. Lo, who has done lots of work over the years, especially with governance and working with CEOs.
Oh yes, definitely. Literally, the devil's in the details. And I think in this role, the CEO should be the devil. Really go down to the crunch, look at the insights, the numbers. Again, back to what I say, need to be very particular. So I think, we have to move away from the era where the CEO just write something to bless everybody, bless the whole mankind, bless civilization. So I think in the CDL example, I have seen it as well over the years. CDL, I spoke in that company quite regularly. So I know for sure the CEO, Mr. Sherman, will actually even chair the board sustainability committee himself. So I think together with the Chief Sustainability Officer, Ms. Esther Ang, I think they actually are very well poised to push the company ahead. So that's just for company, but in general, I think in many of our participants, especially Rajesh, those companies reports that you send to me and my team, I look at them. There are some CEO statements, but I think going forward we have to encourage top leaders, including even sometimes the chairman of the board, to say something useful, because I think in the CDL case, the CEO said a lot of good things because he also chairs the committee, chairs the board sustainability committee. But even that, I think we have to elevate it beyond sustainability mandate towards the whole board. I think ESG is now big enough to be on the agenda. We are not cluttering the board proceedings at all. I think it deserves a very rightful place on the table. And otherwise it will be on the menu, so to speak. Thank you.
Guler, feel free to chip in if you want to add to that.
Yes, Rajesh, I'm smiling because I know that many of the CEO letters ordered by PR agency, somebody writing this letter and sending CEO to read and confirm, which is not really CEO letter to me. CEO at least once a year should write the letter themselves. So this is the first comment. Second one is we would like to see the CEO letter, the concrete commitment and real KPI for future, as well as something nice about the company, of course. We would like to see the future strategy of the company. We would like to hear from the first hand from the CEO what they want to do for future, because we are interested in the future of the company as well as, of course, current time and the past information. So generally, a CEO always proud of the past, what they have done, but we would like to see also what will happen in the future, what they are planning, what their future target, future KPI, and etc. etc. It makes this commitment, it makes the CEO letter and of course the whole report more reliable. And unfortunately, the sustainability initiative still going from top to down. So that's why CEO is one of the most important leader in the company to implement the sustainability initiative whole company. If the staff and all stakeholders believe, the CEOs believe real sustainability, I think they will, also trust the company much better.
Thank you, Claire. Yeah, so Sylvain and Mohan, please feel free to come in to add what you want to add. That's why we started this category. This is a new category, and Elaine and I, we had a discussion before this season, and then we felt that this is really an important topic And we have seen reports where, lots of reports sustainability reports are part of the annual report. So that's a growing trend now. And a few more and more companies, they include it in their annual report rather than having a standalone sustainability report. So what happens that, especially is true for listed companies. So what happens that the annual report already has a CEO message or chairman message is already part of that conventionally. And there is a convention of what they include there. So a lot of useful information is there, which is related to the financial performance, what went right, what went wrong, how the future looks like. So a lot of strategic content there in those messages. And now when the sustainability report is included in that, so we get requested or rather we suggest that at least have a paragraph with a subheader sustainability in that, because that's a GRI requirement as well, that you should have a CEO statement. So it means that it's a patchwork. It's just a paragraph supplied to that whole message. But that's not what we want to see in award-winning CEO statements. So that's what Prof. Lowe was just mentioning about CDL. I think we came across lots of good examples where companies thought that their CEO statement is really robust. So that was very heartening to see. So I think this trend will grow, but we have lots of reporting practitioners here listening to us, watching us, and this is a new category. I'm sure they want to go back with some nice tips, and we just heard from Guler and Lawrence, so, and also Mohan and Sylvain. If you want to add anything, final tips to how to make a CEO statement an award winning for the next year's Asia Sustainability Reporting Awards.
Not a tip, but just one more comment. I think also what we see in our rating hundreds of thousands of companies is that there is an emerging number that are purpose companies or positive impact companies. Today, it's maybe 0.5% of the entire population, but we can imagine that in 5 or 10 years, there will be 20%, 30%, even 50% purpose or positive impact companies. Some people even say that all companies should be positive impact within the next 20 years. And if it's the case, the CEO's message becomes even more important, because the CEO is the person representing and protecting the purpose of the company. So I think more and more, again, it's going to be a sign of leadership and a sign that the CEO understands that it's important and it's not just a secondary subject.
Thank you, Sylvain. I have just 1 minute more, and that means between Guler, Mohan, and Lawrence, 30 seconds. I don't know, 1 minute is 30 seconds, no, 20 seconds. Over to you, Lawrence.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I think if you look at annual reports, the CEO usually write with a lot of passion, a lot of detail, articulating the achievement of the business. I'm sure you've seen the annual report. What I like to see eventually is that we move towards an era where the CEO or even the chairman, so to speak, write for the sustainability report, if it's a separate one, something that is as, I would say, inspiring as the annual report. How come the CEO cannot write something for the sustainability report that is as detailed, as motivating as the annual report? I think, if they do it with the same level of diligence, that would be very good. And of course, it should not be written by Corpcoms.
Thank you, Lawrence. Mohan and then Guler, just a quick short comment.
Ditto to all, Rajesh. CEO is the face of the organization, and words from him or her would make a lot of difference when we are reading the report.
Thank you, Mohan. Guler.
Rajesh, I think we would like to see more integrated sustainability into their business model and strategy CEO letter, how they find the connection between financial information and ESG indicators.
Exactly. Yeah, we all want to see that. So can I invite Sylvain again back on the screen? I see we have a photo op here. Can we take a picture before we move on to the next? I am not going to miss any opportunity to take pictures. Sylvain, are you still there? Otherwise, we see a nice, what do you call, caricature of Sylvain? Okay, so perhaps Sylvain has moved away. So we can still take a picture. So Jane? Oh, we have Sylvain, so let's one more. So we are taking a picture, Sylvain. So let's move on to the next segment. No, the next segment is actually a good one, which is a break segment, Elaine. So we have...
We love breaks.
10 minutes break, yoga break. So just stretch and then we'll see you back in 10 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your break, whether you had a drink or did a yoga stretch. What did you do, Elaine?
Had a drink.
Had a drink. Wonderful. Same here. A drink. All right. So now for the next segment, we again have a very special guest with us, a friend, and also part of the judging panel, Professor Dr. Guled Aras, who is joining us from Turkey. So welcome to the event, Dr. Aras. Very, very good to see you, Guled, again. And yeah, so you are not new to the awards, you are not new to the summit as well. And thank you for your time and also contributing to the judging process. So as we are going to ask you again, everyone wants to know here is that how do we improve our report and how do we make it better, and what best way to look at it by asking a report judge that what do you want to see in a report? So what are some of the wow factors for you in a report? Whether it's integrated report or sustainability report, you can choose which one you want to talk about.
Thank you, Rajas. It's wonderful to be together with you, and it's very good to celebrate, companies already in an award, and I'm very pleased to be part of this judgment actually. Still the same, sustainability is one of the areas where competition is unquestionably the most valuable. And first of all, it's encouraging to observe that level of competitiveness in sustainability has improved actually over time. You asked me what makes the report best. I think Asra make the report best because every year company keep improving. I am witness the last couple of years. I am witness to see every year the quality of the reports keep improving, and I think more company applying this award as well, which is a very significant indicator for us what makes the report best and better. And also pleased to see really, honestly, to see the improvement of the improvement quality of the report. It's not only a sustainable report, but also integrated report. Because there are many encouragement and many motivation and significant factors last couple of years, especially climate change as a big global risk, and regulations and investor expectation, founders and stakeholders. And I think integrated report try to be response all these stakeholders' expectation, not with only ESG indicators, environment, social, and governance indicators, but also financial indicators and integrated between the whole information. And I think that's why I think global reporting initiatives and IFRS Value Reporting Foundation try to keep this information together. With one way, we don't know yet. We will learn this year, I think, what is the structure will be for the reporting world this year. And in integrated reporting category, I have evaluated both SME category and the first-time IR issuers. And I think I'm proud of to see SME categories report and first report issuers. I already wrote you, maybe Rajesh, maybe you remember. I'm very excited to see the good reports from the small and medium-sized enterprises, and also the company preparing first time this report, which means to me every size is getting not really as important as before, because SME is one of the inevitable part of the supply chain for the big companies. So they have to be as good as big companies, which is very significant. We have to invest sustainable supply chain. So SMEs, if they preparing report, to me, they are getting better than before, and their competitive level of these companies increasing and keep increasing. And what did I see in the report this year? Integrate sustainability beyond seeing its necessity and integrated sustainability into their business models and strategies, which is one of the most critical points to me to see in the report. And it seems inevitably that innovative solutions offered by institutions to ensure comparability and link between information are among the best practice examples. And also I found the efforts to include future prediction, which is really important, future prediction in performance indicators, very valuable. These are the three main output from my judge to read whole report. And I think we are lucky to see the whole companies, it's getting better and better. So this is the first slide.
Elaine, you have a question?
Yeah, sure, Gula. Well, thanks for that. And in integrated reporting, one of the things you mentioned is the link, integrating sustainability into the business model and the link between sustainability and business success. I was wondering what you look for in an integrated report to make that absolutely clear. I mean, a lot of companies who produce integrated reports, they'll have a whole sort of discussion of the business, and then they'll have a chapter about sustainability, and then they'll carry on talking about the business. What is it that makes that integrated piece really work for you when you're looking at reports?
This is the well-known question, Elaine. Thank you for asking again, because if you want to describe what is the difference between sustainable report and integrated reports, and we have to see in the integrated report framework the connectivity between financial and non-financial information with strong way. So, and with an input, transformation process with the risk management and better governance infrastructure and etc., to see the better output and outcome. So we would like to report this connection between financial and non-financial information. What is your input and how did you transform this input to get output? What is your company ESG implementation, including environmental governance and sustainability, and what is your innovative way, but how is your R&D, etc., etc. So we would like to see this connection between financial and non-financial information, and we would like to see the kind of double materiality between output and outcome to see the recycle again. What is your output and how did you get an input again from the stakeholders to inside the company? And that's why the value creation model have to include all this information. So, and moreover, the integrated report, we don't want to see too much information. Too much information makes our decision-making process more complex. We want to see less information, but more quality information to make better decisions. Integrated report try to encourage the decision maker to make better decisions, to use financial and non-financial together. Integrated reporting not for only company inside, but also all stakeholders. But also the reporting vision, the reporting concept improve the company strategy every year, because you have to add the strong commitment, you have to add your KPI for the future in this report. This is compulsory to see. I would like to see future outlook with a strong argument, not just like saying I will decrease the emission rate next year, blah, blah, blah. I would like to see your roadmap. I would like to trust the company they will do. If not, they have to explain what is their excuse. So conciseness, balance between information, not too much information actually, less size, more quality information, and connectivity of the financial and non-financial information we have to see in the good integrated report, inside the good integrated report actually.
So Guler, what happens in integrated reporting is that companies are encouraged to move away from a mono-capital approach to a multi-capital approach. So conventionally, companies have focused on a single capital, which is financial capital, as input, and then as part of the business model, and then the output is the products and services, and outcome is again financial performance. But now the multi-capital approach says that, well, that's what the point you're making, that it's not just the financial capital as an input and then outcome. There are other capitals, and if those capitals don't remain available to you, your business will not be sustainable in the mid to long term. And that's what the proposition is, that you look at other capitals, whether those are natural capital or human capital or intellectual capital, or whether it's manufactured capital. And then make sure that how you use these resources, how you process these resources in a way that they remain available to you in a reasonable, affordable, and in good quality over a long period of time, so that you can feed your business model. So this concept, which has also given rise to, say, the integrated thinking. So the ability to think at the board and at the management level, how these six capitals connect with each other, and what's the interplay and what are the trade-offs, and how a company should manage and report on these. So Guler, you have done a lot of work in integrated reporting in Turkey, and also as part of the previous IIRC at the global level. So over the last few years, what have you seen? What's the interest among companies to really take a close look at multi-capital approach and move away from a mono-capital approach? And where do you think things are headed now with the ISSB and new set of disclosures coming on in the market very soon. They already have a draft set of standards for public consultation. So what do you see as a trend, which is a very convincing argument of multi-capital approach and integrated thinking? How do you see this progressing in the next 2-3 years' time?
I think Rajesh, I can say that the wind now just behind of us in the reporting world. Everything is come together. We are just trying to complete the puzzle. We're trying to agree all reporting bodies. I think one of the most motivation is that maybe the global problems, global concerns such as the climate change, net zero targets. We have same target, but we are using different way to report this target actually. And so we have to report these targets and other capitals issues. First of all, I would like to say single capital is not enough to represent the company performance first. You cannot convince your stakeholders with your financial performance. No way. I'm a finance professor. I work hard to improve the financial performance of the company for a long time, but which is not enough yet now. So we have to explain how did you manage the environmental, social, and governance issues as well as your financial performance. So that's why global risk reports and global risk encouraging us to report is such as the zero commitment. And now we are expecting to see the companies have to report with science-based target. We have to convince your stakeholders, not just like, as I told you, report something. We want to see scenario analysis, which science-based targets and scenario analysis are too critical and issue to increase the credibility of the company's commitment. I would like to see this kind of commitment in the report, not just like the target. I would like the company have to convince me. Otherwise, I don't want to take an account that this report is okay, represents all company performance. So we have to move with this reporting world movement all together. If we are lucky, we are going to go exactly the global reporting design, I hope, instead of keep discussion with different reporting bodies. Elaine, you remember first time when I was in Singapore, we had a very hot discussion between all reporting bodies. I was thinking, why we are not sharing these words? We are just saying the same thing. Why we are fighting each other? What is our problem? So are we taking our chairs strong, or are we trying to contribute this world, the company and future of the world and sustainability issue? I'm a little bit happy to see now they are getting ready to work together, which is nice because we will save the time. At the end of the day, we will go the same way, but we were wasting our time to keep discussion and trying to teach companies different reporting model or framework or standards. Why we are using our effort with this way? So our time and money and effort is very, very valuable. So why we are keep trying to learn different things, trying to combine each other, trying to convince the people with the different reporting system. I think now time to collaborate with a strong way. I hope next year when we are in, or this year when we are together again, we will discuss, okay, that's the reporting framework we would like to see all together.
Yeah, that's what it will be, Gulair, when we meet hopefully later this year in Singapore again. We'll be talking about collaboration, not conflict. So thank you. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, Gulair, and very happy to have you here again. And let's move to the next segment, which is our part 3. Can we have the next category on the screen, please? Asia's Best Integrated Report Governance. So governance is back here, and we have two winners, Silver Ayala Corporation Philippines and Cipla Limited India. And of course, as usual, the gold winner is going to come from Elaine.
And we're going to have some fireworks for Palawakale Tea Estates in Sri Lanka, a long time entrant in the reporting awards and a frequent winner over the years. So congratulations for making governance top in integrated reporting.
Next category, Asia's Best Integrated Report, Integrated Thinking. And integrated thinking is at the core of integrated reporting. We have two winners here, bronze, EDC from Philippines, first gen also from Philippines. And can we have the gold now, please?
Obviously very invested in strong integrated reporting. Well done to Palawakale Tea Estates again, and to all the other finalists.
So the next category is Asia's Best Integrated Report Value Creation. And we have two winners, First Gen Corporation from Philippines and Cipla Limited from India. And can we have the gold winner now?
Surprise, surprise.
Another one goes to Palawakale Tea Estates. Long time winner at our awards actually. They have been doing very well over the years. And the next category is Asia's Best Integrated Report Design, and we have two winners, Ayala Corporation and Tata Power from India. Can we have the gold winner, please? From India. And
Congratulations to Polycarp and all the others.
yeah, let's go to the next category, which is Can we have the winners on screen, please? Who is the bronze winner? Alumex from Sri Lanka. And the silver, Oxford College of Business, Sri Lanka as well. And the gold winner is? Congratulations to all the winners. And SME is always, SMEs are special. Everyone says that. So a lot of our judges, guests say how important SMEs are. It's always good to see SMEs doing very well. Let's have the next category on screen, which is Asia's Best Integrated Report First Time. So first time is always special, isn't it? And we have two winners here, Polycab India, bronze Yinsen Holdings from Malaysia, and let's have our gold winner for this. Congratulations to Salka Yinsen and Polycab, and also to the finalists. Let's go to the next category, which is Asia's Best Integrated Report Public Sector. Unfortunately, we don't have a winner for this category, so we'll move to the next category now. All right, and the winner for this category, which is for large company, bronze is Cipla India. Let's have our silver winner, which is Ayala Corporation Philippines, and who is the gold winner? So big congratulations to all the winners of Integrated Reporting Awards 2021. And with this, we have just concluded Integrated Reporting Awards. You know, when it comes to these awards, Asia Sustainability Reporting Awards, also Asia Integrated Reporting Awards. So given the growing importance of integrated reporting, we decided to kind of separate these two. Earlier, Integrated Reporting Awards were very much part of the Sustainability Reporting Awards. But we know that an integrated report is not really a sustainability report in that sense. And it deserves its own space. That's what we have done, and we are seeing a lot more interest, a lot more companies actually coming forward. Added to that, you know, our judges are really the backbone of these awards. They really work very hard, and you can't imagine how difficult it is to read hundreds of reports within a very short period of time, and then come to a conclusion, be fair, and be very thorough. That's what they did, and you can see some of them have done for years and years. And Mohan, also a good friend of the awards, has been on the awards judging panel for, I think, from the very beginning, if I remember correctly, Mohan. But what happens that once judges have done their job, we have another layer of diligence. So what happens that we want to make sure that awards are going to the right companies with the right reputation. And there is a background check, there is a due diligence where a team looks into what's happening with the company in the stakeholder space. Are they facing something which is unpleasant or very controversial, which will go against the very spirit of these awards? So we also do that, and I have no hesitation in sharing this with you that every year we do have a few names who otherwise manage to produce a fabulous award-winning report if you don't take into consideration the due diligence part. And every year, unfortunately, we do draw a few companies which otherwise have a beautiful report. Everyone loves the report. But in totality, when we look at what's happening with this company in the marketplace, we feel that it's not in the spirit of the awards. So I just wanted to add that it's not just what you write in your report. We also look at what's happening with your company in the marketplace, with your stakeholders, and in the macro environment where you operate. Just wanted to make that point. And now the next one is our good friend, and I'm going to invite him for a chat, which is Mohan, and you are welcome, Mohan, to the chat. All right, good to see you. And Mohan is a professor, academic, and he spends a lot of time, has deep interest in sustainability as part of Nottingham University Business School in Malaysia, and also he is also involved internationally. So he takes a lot of interest. It pretty much he's connected to what's happening not only in Asia, internationally. And it's always very interesting to hear his thoughts. So today, very happy to have you here, Mohan, with us. So you have been looking at these reports for quite some time, and you also interact with a lot of companies. And so how do you see sustainability reporting evolving in these last few years that you have observed this entire space?
Thank you, Rajesh and Elaine. And just a step back, it is important to acknowledge Asra's awards, how it started in a small space and has grown to a massive space and never stopped even in the pandemic. Kudos to you, Rajesh, Elaine, and to your fantastic team. The global pandemic in 2020, when the lockdowns happened, never imagined this would go online. There are 150 plus people today also. So hats off to you guys. That itself is a testament, right? That the awards continues for so long, it doesn't fizzle out. as a way to answer your question, Rajesh. And I just have to sort of connect the dots, what Lawrence and Sylvian and Professor Guler have mentioned, how the reports have moved and matured over a period of time. Companies beginning to understand that it's not about philanthropy and nothing's wrong in the good deeds they do to society, but it's about integrating the good into the business model or business strategy. And that's coming through. There are some excellent newcomers who come up and challenge the existing players. And we can see the regular winners going up and down. That's a good indication. And there are also some newcomers who come in without a knowledge of the space and still doing some hodgepodge reporting, if I may. And so, but the space has matured and there is a fantastic variability, which means there is a space to discuss these things and see how we can move forward. I liked what Professor Guler and Sylvian also talked about, the maturity of the space, and we're moving in a different direction now. All that augurs very well for this, Rajesh. Very, very beautiful way that things are moving. And the pandemic didn't stop it. Testament to human nature, testament to Rajesh, Elaine, and Niti.
Well, Mohan, thanks for those nice words. So we have sustained because friends like you and everyone else who is here with us today. And so we are very thankful to everyone who has supported us through this pandemic period. And we're really looking forward to be back all together, all those good old times, hopefully very soon. So can't wait to welcome you, Mohan, again back here.
Looking forward, yeah.
Summit and awards. So Elaine, it's over to you.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to get back to Singapore too. So let's hope this is the year. And so far we've heard about key elements of reporting being, materiality, targets, progress against targets. And I think it might have been Gula who mentioned the report being a roadmap. And I wondered what you thought about that, Mohan, because, for so many years, reporting has been about historical performance. Right. But more and more, I think we're moving into companies actually talking about what they're going to do, not just what they have done. And if they've got targets, how they're going to achieve targets. So, net zero by 2050, when most of the current management team won't be around, what is the roadmap to achieving that? I wonder what you thought about how important is that in reporting? Is that now table stakes for reporting that companies should talk about targets, the future, the way they're going to achieve, new value creation?
I'm so glad to hear a different question. I was a bit panicky. I have to say the same that the others have said. I think we can just piece together. I don't know whether you did it by design, Elaine and Rajesh, the way you had the governance man to start with, the supply chain man follows, and then the lady with integrated financial reporting. And if you pull their points together, we can get the answer to your question. I'm the last person who likes data, Elaine. I'm called the fluff in the business school, strategy and innovation, right? Whereas Professor Guler and Sylvian deal with the hard data, but you can't run away from it. And it's not just static data of this year and report it and get it over with. So to answer your question, companies now need to keep their database to see that, right? The economists love the term time series, but it's so important to see. I'm not a fan of time series either. The past really can't predict the future so very well anymore. But for an organization, I think it's very important to have that baseline and see how they have improved or not improved, like you were saying, and tell the truth. And unlike in the past, the fears of admitting weaknesses, I think, is over now. The market wants it. I'm sure the investors always need it. So the truth will set them free. And the truth will set them free if they have continuous data, not just a one-off kind of thing and give it to a consultant. The role of the consultant, I understand, is to help them keep to the formats and not write all over the place. So that's a very critical role. I don't want to use the jargon of big data and analytics and so on, but I think the sustainability agendas, how well they record it. Allow me one last statement as an anecdote. There is a fantastic organization in Malaysia, an SME, and I can swear by it with my heart, but unfortunately not with my head. We know the gentleman does work amazingly, and he admitted it in one of the guest sessions. Because he didn't keep the data, he wasn't given the top accreditations. And it's unfortunate, but that's the way the world runs. And so so the base data, continuous data to see how your movements are on the parameters would be lovely to see.
Okay, Mohan.
Yeah.
So now we are seeing a tremendous, momentum in reporting, and very clearly we are seeing that there is a supply and demand gap now between the talent needed to do the job in entire sustainability space. So you are on the academic side, and I can also take this opportunity to say, and you can perhaps reconfirm that Nottingham University Business School, say in Nottingham, was the first university in the world to set up an international center for CSR and also introduce an MBA program focused or with specialization in CSR.
Right.
And then now I think it's almost all business schools, it's very fashionable for them to have something or the other, a program on sustainability.
Yeah.
So being a pioneer, where do you see, how do we, what universities are doing or business schools are doing to bridge this gap of supply of talent?
So two ways in going through it. This was a reflection we had last year, that we no more had the competitive advantage of being the first. In the words of an American consultant, Nottingham is like Durham, Birmingham, and any other bloody ham. And so how do we stand out? I thought of linking it there also to some of the questions that you were posing to the other judges. For ourselves and for the organizations who are reporting and putting themselves up for the awards. How do we differentiate ourselves when everything is getting general? I think Professor Lawrence made the important statement, general to specifics. We can't have a generic CSR program or sustainability program anymore. And unfortunately, the terms also have evolved into their own meanings. To Nottingham, CSR and sustainability was systemic and CSR was related to business organizations. But that's the whole thinking has changed in the market. So we are using the term responsible business. So I wanted to make the statement also for the contestants or the participants in the program. ESG sits in the middle. And what Professor Guler and Sylvian were talking about, the purpose of the organization is the beginning. And the performance is another issue. And that's how we are beginning to look at things. So the finance gangs and the accounting gangs are going to look at the middle part. How do you get the data, support the leadership, and so on. And on the other hand is leadership. So we are seeing ourselves moving on the leadership direction because we've laid the ground 25 years. The wise, excuse this expression, Elaine, unfortunately it was only the three wise men. But we're bringing in more wise women now to start. I mean, the ones who started these programs. And there was a woman, but it was Rajesh is one of those wise men, by the way, who was involved in the setting up of the modules and so on. So bringing about these diversities into the program, not for ticking the boxes, but to see how we get value, diverse views, and then start shaping the program also differently. By virtue of our location, and I'll also link it to one of the submissions in the diversity space for the Asra Award. One of the winners had a fantastic framework, keeping in mind their multi-location, as far as USA to India to in between in the Southeast Asian and African parts. That's something that stood out a lot to me, judging these reports. I don't think even SMEs can now operate, and particularly in countries like Malaysia and Singapore, can't operate in their little spaces. They have to go global in today's world. So having these frameworks, and we are also leveraging our multi-location. We've got solid campuses in Malaysia, China, and UK. And Singapore, we have a small leg. And to see how we can put this into our differentiator. So that's for Nottingham. And I think the same thing holds to the participants in the awards program. How do they start differentiating themselves? Right? And I have a little anecdote on that, which will come to the next question when you answer. I'm going to pull it together.
Let it come.
Well, I was just going to ask, Mohan, because you talked, among all of the things you said, you talked about purpose being the beginning. And one of the things that reporting has never really done that well is include this concept of purpose and ask companies to link, performance to purpose. In fact, I just last week, I think, saw some research that had been done, a sort of ranking, I think it's in Canada, I'll need to check, but a ranking of how companies actually report on how they are living their purpose. Yeah. And I'm wondering if that's like the next big thing in reporting, and if you think it's a sort of gap now in reporting as it stands.
Very true, and that links to what I was planning to say also.
I knew it.
Your heart breaks when you see good reports, but they're not going to win, simply because there's a lot of data going nowhere. Somebody runs to comply to some things, and they've done a great job here, they've done a great job there. It just doesn't tie in together. Professor Guler did point out that it has to be built into the business model or into the strategy of the organization, but that's still very dry. The purpose part, without being condescending, obviously, right? You don't condescend to the market, you don't condescend to the investors. There has to be a clear direction, and we are relooking as we speak. Our school is under review right now. We're a 3-campus school. What's the point in being in China, Malaysia? Rajesh may be aware. Malaysians have a saying, you, I. That shouldn't means you do your own thing, I do my own thing, under a framework. But now we are looking at more, how are we integrated? What do we offer to our market with these multiple locations? I think it's the same for organizations. So the anecdote I wanted to share, I'm not sure if I'm going to be fired for this, but truth should set us free, right? So the consultant who was trying to shape the strategy for the business school asked a question, what differentiates you? And so a lot of the academics started talking about their specializations, health or CSR or finance. That's when the various hams came in. They said, you don't look different from any other ham. So what is it that really differentiates your company and links to the purpose? And I've got two, one who's crossed teenage and one who's in the teenage in the house. And it's interesting observing them, how they observe companies. They look for responsibility in ingredients, responsibility even for her internship, the amount of digging she did. And we couldn't convince her to go to a company because until she did her digging and found out how responsible they are towards employees, towards the market and in the supply chain. And only then she chose to accept the internship. Well, as older Indians, we thought, wow, what a cocky little girl and arrogant little girl, right? But that's the way the market works. So I think that's where the purpose comes in. And Elaine, I'm so happy that Asra brought in the CEO letter. I wouldn't have any clue. I don't know, Rajesh reads my mind every time. I thought storytelling, and a few years ago he had a session on storytelling. And this issue of the CEO letter, we looked at 200 CEO letters before and during the pandemic. And it was staggering to see how different the CEOs of good companies spoke differently, immediately responding to the pandemic, the humanity of issues, whereas some of them were just still playing a lip service. We could see very clear differences qualitatively. So yes, the purpose, it makes you stand out, and then everything, the ESG should follow through. There shouldn't be a disconnect among these issues.
Thank you, Mohan. Yeah. It's always great to have you on our events, so thanks for your support. I think we have a picture, so if my colleagues can take a picture and let us know it's done. So it's Elaine, it's time to move to the next segment, and which is the most exciting segment now. A lot of big awards coming up.
Wow.
And but there's also time to invite our next special guest who is with us for this awards presentation. Lauren, welcome to the awards evening. So Lauren is from the British High Commission in Singapore, and you heard this morning that British High Commission has been involved with the awards from the very beginning. And so Lauren is going to help us to reveal some of the awards, Elaine. So
Fantastic.
Can we have the next category, please? So the next
Great.
category is Asia's Best Climate Reporting. That's Lauren's area, actually. She works a lot in this area now. And we already have two winners here, bronze and silver. AU Optronics from Taiwan and SoftBank from Japan. And Lauren is going to tell us who the gold winner is.
Yes, thank you, Rajesh. And this is a category very new to my heart and an increasingly important type of sustainability reporting. So let's see who the gold winner is. So City Developments Limited from right here in Singapore. Congratulations to CDL, a longtime corporate leader in climate action, sustainable development in Singapore and the region.
Thank you. So let's go to the next category, which is Asia's Best SDG Reporting, another very important category, very close to my heart. We have two winners here, PT Pertamina from Indonesia, Cathay Financial again from Taiwan, and Lauren is going to tell us who the gold winner is.
And the gold winner is SoftBank Corporation in Japan. So well done to SoftBank Corporation, a company that actually considers SDGs as very core to their management principles.
So congratulations to the winners. Next segment. So Asia's Best Sustainability Report SME, we have bronze winner LHT Holdings from Singapore and silver winner Grand Banks Yours also from Singapore.
And the gold winner for Asia's Best Sustainability Report for SMEs. Many congratulations to the Roma SMEs who can lead the way in sustainability reporting.
Okay, so thank you, Lauren. So stay with us. And we will move to the next part of the presentation. And let me invite our next special guest from the British High Commission, Isabel. Welcome to the event, Isabel, and thank you for your time. I know you are very busy, so to help us announce some of these names. So can we have the next category on screen, please? Asia's Best Sustainability Report, first time, very, very special category. And we have two winners, bronze MGM China from Hong Kong and Gold Road Resources from Australia. And Isabel is going to help us announce the gold winner.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the glitch. So the gold winner for the Asia's Best Sustainability Report, first time, so welcome and really great to have first timers. So the first timer is Cathay Century Insurance. Congratulations.
Congratulations to all the winners. Let's have the next category, please. And the bronze winner for Asia's Best Sustainability Report Public Sector is PT Sarna Multi-Infrastructure from Indonesia. And the silver, Central Taiwan Science Park Bureau. So before I hand it to Isabel, it's so important. We added this category just, I think, 2 years ago. There was no category for public sector. And there was a lot of feedback from our stakeholders too, actually, because many of them, they have a report, and they felt that it's not fair for them to compete in with large private sector companies. And we are really amazed to see the number of public sector companies and also government departments and agencies really producing a very good quality sustainability report. So it's over to Isabel.
Yes, thank you, Rajesh. And it's indeed very important, for the public sector to lead by example. Public sector are setting the regulations for some of these sectors. So really leading by example and showing that they do it themselves is important. So without further ado, the gold winner for this category of the public sector is Taipei Exchange. Congratulations, Taipei.
So congratulations to all the winners. You can see Taipei Exchange is a stock exchange of Taiwan, doing very well in reporting. So that's very good to see. At this stage, can I also have Lauren on screen for a group photo? So both of you, Isabel and
we have one more category, don't we? I think we have the.
Yeah, we have.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but before that, I thought that we are not going to do that, right? Just stay with us. And at this stage, I also want to invite another very special guest who has done very well this evening in terms of winning the awards. And we thought that we can invite her on the screen. So can we have Esther, please? Here you go.
Here she is.
Good.
Hello. You are building the suspense. I'm going to have heart attack.
So good to see you, Esther. So how have you been doing this evening? Have you been counting your awards?
Actually, we are doubled, multitasking. And tonight we are actually hosting another event for the Young SDG Leaders Award company briefing. So, yeah, but we just, we are done with that. And I think it is important to engage young people and also other corporates together to really drive the sustainability agenda. Yeah.
Okay, so let me congratulate you because you CDL has done very well this evening. I don't know whether you have been counting your awards.
Yes, I'm really, really delighted and very grateful. And to you and Elaine for organizing this, wonderful events to recognize the sweat and tears of all the corporate reporters. And also thank you for the hard work of the judging panel, which is actually not easy to run through so many reports and to identify the winner. And it's also not easy for the reporters who have actually put in the heart and soul into the report. But look like today, heart and soul is not enough. We need to look at data, look at the science, and look at the strategy in order to come up with a really good report that our investor, our stakeholders, will be impressed. Yeah, so this is really very challenging. This is actually 2021 was our 14th report, and we just posted our 15th report last week. So along this journey, we have learned a lot. And the journey is getting harder and harder, and stakeholder readers of reporting has been really raising the bar. And really, you won't know how probably, how corporate reporters are really, doing our very, very best to come up with data and a strategy that is consistent, comparable, and credible.
Thank you, Esther. So Esther is a very known figure in sustainability around the region, but some of you, if you don't know her, so Esther is the Chief Sustainability Officer of City Developments Limited, which I think City Developments Limited has bagged the highest number of awards this evening. Looks like that's what it is. So congratulations, Asra, to you and to your team on your 15 years of reporting. So you said you just published your 15th report. So that's an amazing feat. And we have one more award to go. So we are going to do that now. So we have bronze winner from Singapore, UOB.
Silver awards from Taiwan, Asus Tech Computer, and the gold winner. I think we've spoiled the weight here. So the gold winner for the category of large company Asia's best sustainability report goes to City Development Limited, CDL Asra, and your team. Congratulations again.
Congratulations, Esther.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
We have one more award to go, so let's get that category. Sustainability Report of the Year Award.
That's the final award. It's the over-encompassing award, the overarching awards. You know, taking all these reports into consideration, the different elements. There is one report, one company that has won the Asia's Best Report of the Year. Very special award goes to City Development Limited. Again, congratulations for this amazing award to CDL. Congratulations.
I want to scream, but but I have to behave myself. Thank you so much. Really, very, very, truly grateful, and not just to our team, and also all the stakeholder and business units, as well as our board and also our group CEO, who have given us all the mandate and resources that we need to produce this report. Pouring in our heart and souls and hours and. Well, I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Congratulations, Esther. So this really...
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's an amazing feat for you. And congratulations to, say, all our friends are congratulating. Please join us, everyone. Lawrence, Fuller, and who else is still there? Sylvan, Mohan. Please join us. And so it's... I think we make up for a nice group picture at this stage. So, my team, can we have a group picture, please? Okay, thank you. So with this, we have concluded all the awards that we wanted to present today. And again, we want to thank all those who have participated in the awards. And big congratulations to all of those who made it to the finals. And of course, those who are winners this evening. Now, as me, someone who really observes these awards and the whole process, I can tell you something from these 8 years of experience to all those companies which participate in these awards. It has become very, very hard even to get to the finals. And our judges here, I think they will support that is very, very difficult. And after finalists, we used to have just one award, one category. That's how it used to be in the first several years. And then it became very difficult for judges to choose just one. And then that's how we introduced another one, which was highly commended. So we used to have two. And then two was not enough. And then finally we have introduced gold, silver, and bronze. And even these three judges are saying that it's not easy to just pick three. So in my eyes, all finalists are winners. So a big congratulations to all of them. And the 2022 edition will open very soon. So I invite all of you again to come participate in these awards. I think it's more than winning. Just participating is winning. It's more, as we heard before this evening, also especially from High Commissioner Kara Owen, that it's really important for companies to come out and share what they are doing. And that sharing by all companies, that itself is very powerful. And that will really move us towards the right direction. So at this point, I invite all of you to say your final comment. I will start with my Professor Low. Any parting remarks from you, Lawrence?
Oh no, I think we need to satisfy one SDG, zero hunger. So let's eat dinner.
That's the best part. And Mohan, still hungry.
As you rightly said, sharing, learning, and collaboration. That should be the way forward. And good to see you all, and thank you for having me again. Congratulations, Esther, since you're on board.
Good. Thank you. Yeah. And it's Lauren.
Sorry, Rajesh, I was a little. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be part of this jury, and I'm also very happy to see the improvement and the quality of the reports every year. Thank you for your kind invitation and kind effort.
We feel privileged, Colette. And Lauren, your work is very important in climate change, and UK has taken up the global leadership actually. So what would you like to say, especially to all those companies which participate? What's your message on climate change?
First of all, just thank you so much, Rajesh and Elaine, for all of your efforts tonight, and congratulations to all the winners and all the nominees. I think seeing how many strong nominees we have from across the region shows that we have a lot of cases to learn from. So other companies, SMEs that are sort of just starting on their sustainable journey, there's a lot of good examples that we can point to that we saw evidence tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren. Isabel, you have been deeply involved in COP26 work and after that. So what is your message to companies?
Thank you, Rajesh. So my message would be that really building on what you mentioned earlier about the due diligence process that you are doing, going beyond reporting and also validating the nominees and the winners with the real actions on the ground. So reporting is very necessary. Good reporting is really necessary and important to show what companies are doing and also to plan what companies will do in the future. But it's also very important to see actions on the ground. So I would say reporting, good start, great, continue. Actions on the ground, and seeing how we can bring these actions to basically accelerate all the changes that are needed to deliver our sustainable development goals. So that would be my message. Move from reporting to actions as soon as possible. Thank you.
From reporting to action. So let's go to our action woman this evening, Esther.
Well, there is an urgency, the journey has actually moved from walking to running, and now we are sprinting in the race to zero. So businesses can definitely, play a key role, and sustainability reporting is very key to mobilize capital to accelerate action towards net zero.
Thank you, Esther. And Elaine, you have the last word.
Well, all I can say is, let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Absolutely. It's been fantastic. Great to hear from so many of you, and really well done, Esther. And you and your team do an amazing job of pulling it together. So much complex information and integrating it in a way which makes it clear and well laid out. And it really is a pleasure to see your reporting journey and the progress, and of course all of the work you're doing to help us get where we want to be, a prosperous and healthy future. So let's do it again.
Let's do it again. So let's do one last group picture, our colleagues. Thank you. So with this, thank you again. Have a nice evening. Stay safe. And I'm really looking forward to see you all in person very soon here in Singapore. So until then, bye for now, and see you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for watching the Asian Sustainability Reporting Awards 2021 and Asian Integrated Reporting Awards 2021 ceremonies. Congratulations to all the winners. See you next year.